morning. As you may or may not know, lawmakers are scheduled to meet 126 days throughout the calendar year 2013. That leaves all of our members of Congress 239 days to campaign with their constituents for re-election, especially those that have not been recently elected to the Senate or to the House of Representatives. Congressmen, I believe, are always in a campaign mode since their terms are only 2 years, while senators need not worry for re-election until they are in their 5th year of service. I get a kick out of the word service. The question is, who are they servicing? Not us, since if they seem to get very little, if anything, done to help the American people. Having to be in session only 126 days affords them significant opportunity to travel to various countries throughout the world and to spread goodwill wherever they visit. Having so much free time in comparison to the majority of American working people that have to work over 300 plus days per year, close to half of that time to simply pay their taxes. It would allow members of Congress to be more creative and to try and come up with proposed legislation by proposing new bills to create new laws that will have their name associated with those laws, should they pass them both through the chambers and eventually be approved by Congress. Take, for example, the new bill that was, thanks to Senator John McCain and Senator Carl Levine, signed into law by President Obama last year. The National Defense Authorization Act, the law that allows Obama or any future president to imprison anyone that they feel might be a threat to the security of America, including American citizens. The amazing part is that those individuals would not receive any of the protection afforded to all other Americans. They would simply vanish. I believe that I might have an idea that can save the American taxpayer hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars per year. With the cost in travel and accommodations for 535 members of Congress, comprised of 100 senators and 435 congressional representatives, considering that they, according to the Senate, Senator Rand Paul, have never had time to read any of the bills that they sign into law, why not provide them with additional time to read and any and all proposed bills? By eliminating all the travel, by not having to attend in person those 126 days in session that they are scheduled to be in session throughout the 2013 calendar year. With technology being as advanced and secure as it is, and with software programs like quote-unquote GoToMeeting, instead of members of Congress having to travel to D.C. at a significant expense to the American taxpayer for airfare, hotel transportation, and general expenses, why not simply have them log into their computers and have them vote on the proposed bill in question? It is my understanding that Nancy Pelosi travels to D.C. on a Monday and returns to California on a Friday, leaving only 3 days in D.C. to do her amazing work for the American people. Maybe that's not such a bad idea in her case to not have her use GoToMeeting. Anyway, I also had read that when Senator Harry Reid is in D.C., he stays at his suite at the Ritz-Carlton. And I'm relatively certain that senators like John McCain, whenever he is not in front of a camera or a guest on one of the radio shows while in D.C., he, along with Nancy Pelosi, do not spend their evenings at Motel 6. I assume, nor do any of the other senators and senior long-term congressmen stay at inexpensive hotels either. The savings to the American people by having all of the members of Congress log onto the software programs like quote-unquote GoToMeeting would save both time and money. The amount would be mind-boggling, especially when we consider, based on Congress's past performance over the past 4 years, the Senate has not passed what they are chartered to pass, which is a budget. Couple that with their overall poor performance, a rating below 8%, having them do nothing might prove to be a godsend to the American people. If you agree with what I've outlined in this video, and if it's of interest to you, we all need to contact our elected congressional representatives and recommend that they consider eliminating all necessary travel by attending their scheduled sessions and allow them more free time to read and review any and all proposed bills before they become law, by knowing what those bills all contain and the true implication of their vote as to how it impacts and affects their respective constituents. That's what I believe would make a significant difference in helping to reduce the overall deficit. There's hundreds and hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars wasted for these people to travel and to stay in hotels. What for? That's a question you have to ask yourself. I hope you agree, and I hope you'll do as I suggested. Contact your representatives and demand that they consider using GoToMeeting.